Hey, thanks for checking out the video. If you all like it, please like and subscribe, and hope you all enjoy it. Have a great rest of the day. Oh, hello everyone. This is me, William Young, here checking in here at the Kings Mountain Historical Museum. And today we are going to be doing a cooking demonstration on two items that I'll be making today. The first one will be the braised sausage with potatoes, and with this one I'll be cooking with a little bit of onions in it, some potatoes, and things like that. It's a recipe that there's different recipes. There's varying ones. All are a little bit different. But the one that I'm using has some potatoes, as well as some onions and a tiny bit of garlic. But as I said, there's some variable recipes out there, so not one recipe is the same. They're similar in their own ways, but they're also different. And then the second thing that I'll be making is also some fire cakes. They go by different names, but with this, it's a little bit of water with some flour. And there's varying names for that one as well. And the reason why I'm doing the fire cakes, is because, especially with the event today here at Kings Mountain Historical Museum, we are doing an event, we are having an author here that wrote a book on the actual battle and the Kings Mountain and stuff. So I thought that it would be a good idea to do that, since I wanted to do something also that kind of involved, like, what did some of the soldiers, the military, the militia eat leading up to the actual battle itself. So to kind of go into detail now, some of the things, according to the Kings Mountain Military Park, I was, giving them calls and discussion and some online sources, but also mostly the Kings Mountain Military Park. After discussion with them and some personal research, some of the things that they may have had were things like, the fire cakes or ash cakes, or there was one situation to where someone had some cows in the area, or some cattle. They also may have had some venison, for those that were able to, or for those that went out hunting and, in sorts. There is one situation where someone had access to pumpkins, all of which is very interesting in my opinion. But just because one person had pumpkins doesn't mean everyone had pumpkins. Just like venison, just because one person had venison doesn't mean everyone had venison. There may have been some situation to where maybe one or two or a few or several had venison, or maybe a few had pumpkins, or a few had cattle, or ate cattle, or whatever. It's all variable. It's not one size fits all. It's just dependent on what you had, access to. Especially considering that they were packing relatively light, because they were on a mission to go to Kings Mountain. So because of that, with packing light, you weren't always able to bring your whole, kitchen setup and the kitchen sink, for lack of better words. So you had to make do with packing light. Hence why I say, venison may have been enjoyed by a few, or things like ash cakes or fire cakes, or things like that. So it's just dependent on what you had access to. So that's something to consider. So that's kind of where the fire cakes that I'll be making kind of falls in on, is with that. So that's something to definitely consider. So, as I mentioned, I am in the process of making the ash cakes or the fire cakes and stuff, as well as making braised or ale braised. Oh yes, did I mention ale braised or did I just mention braised sausage with potatoes? There's I'll be adding some ale to the sausages. You have to kind of not necessarily cut them completely through, but as long as you partially slice the sausage, then you'll be great. Just so the sausage can soak up the beer. And I'll also be adding some sauerkraut on the side as well for it, just as an extra. I have a loaf of bread just to kind of help soak up some of the liquid though. Some bread that I was able to make last night using historic methods. But anywho, that's the story right now. And I have the fire going here, as you can see. So today is going to be a fantastic day. So please check in with us, and I'll keep you all updated on how everything goes throughout the whole cooking process, and we'll go from there. Stay tuned. So I just put on the sausages, and they're going to start cooking right now. And I'm also going to be cooking the potatoes as well, and go on from there. And I'll keep you updated on how everything goes. So right here, as you can see, I've put the potatoes and some onion and some of the ale, as well as the sausages in there. Now they're all cooking together now, and I put some of the ale in there, and I've also kind of sliced them up a little bit, so that's kind of adding the flavor to it. And now it's just cooking. I've also put a little bit of sauerkraut in there too, to add some flavors and stuff and mix it all about. Oh boy, does this taste good. This looks good, and it's just cooking away now, and just having at it. So I'm going to let this cook for a little while longer. And as I mentioned earlier, there are varying recipes for this. Some will have you cook the potatoes separately and then mix them later. Some will have other varying ways of doing it. All just depends on the recipe. And since there are several different ones, they all call for a little different. This one just happens to call for this. So I know that there's one channel out there called The Taste of History that does a great job in explaining how to make a similar recipe to this, to the one that I'm making today. As far as ale, you can use whatever ale you have on hand, but today I used the Sam Adams ale. So of course, back in the 18th century they didn't always have every single ingredient, so sometimes they had to vary it a little bit. So, but I'll check back in just a little bit and let you know how it's turning out. Oh gosh, just checking if it's done or not right now, especially the potatoes and stuff, and some of the onions. Looks like it won't be too much longer. Maybe another 10-20 minutes, or maybe another 10 minutes maybe at most, and we'll all be okay. Okay, you all, this is the final result of the recipe that I made. And again, to kind of go over it again, the recipe called, this is a ale braised sausage with potatoes. You know, this particular recipe called for, you know, some potatoes and some onions, and of course some ale, and of course I think I mentioned onions, but it also called for a little bit of garlic as well. I just took it off the coals, so it's piping hot right now. I'm going to let it cool down for a few minutes and stuff, but this is the result of it, and I'm looking forward to enjoying it and all that sorts. As a matter of fact, let's take off one the sausage, and of course I also have a little bit of sauerkraut in there as well. And I mentioned onions, but definitely looking forward to enjoying this. But anyways, going to cut up a piece of the sausage, and here we go now. Pretty darn good. Well, this is the result. Anyways, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and feel free to ask all the questions you want. Hope that you enjoyed it. Have a great rest of the day.